From the late 90s to the late 2000s, Michael Vartan seemed to be everywhere, before he suddenly wasn't. Just like that, an actor who had been all over film and television was nowhere to be found. Why can't this star of rom-coms past find work anymore? Here's the truth. Leaving a TV series for a movie career is risky. The actor may assume that the show was successful primarily due to their involvement, and not due to, say, another star of the show, a unique premise, or a visionary showrunner. Unfortunately for Michael Vartan, who left Alias during its 5th season, the popularity of the series could be credited to Jennifer Garner, who portrayed an international super spy under the watchful eye of show creator J.J. Abrams. The entertainment industry and people who follow entertainment news generally react with a collective wince as they brace for impact of the fleeing actor's career crash landing, especially if it follows the example set forth by people like Shelley Long and David Caruso, who abandoned TV mega hits Cheers and NYPD Blue, respectively, for A-list movie star runs that never materialized. But when Vartan left Alias, it's likely that he didn't think there was any way he'd wind up like Long or Caruso. The actor must have thought he'd turn out like those performers who successfully moved from TV to films, people like George Clooney.
You can do this. You have to.
Vartan ultimately returned to Alias, but being lumped in with previous show jumpers could only have hurt his career prospects. Hollywood is ultimately a business, and money weighs greatly on the minds of filmmakers, studios, and production companies. Actors who repeatedly prove themselves bankable can continue to get roles for years, based on their track records. Others tend to see their roles dry up if they're given a few shots that don't pan out. This could be the case with Michael Vartan. The actor has never starred in a genuine blockbuster produced by a major studio that poured a lot of money into marketing. His 1999 comedy, Never Been Kissed, earned a decent $55 million at the North American box office, and 6 years later, Monster-in-Law took in $82 million. Not only are those not outright smashes, but they're more associated with other actors, co-stars Drew Barrymore and Jennifer Lopez, respectively. Vartan was only given the chance to star in one more big movie, the 2011 action thriller Colombiana. Also starring Zoe Saldana, the film earned just $36 million in North America, less than its budget. In the numbers game of Hollywood, Michael Vartan unfortunately just doesn't seem to be a draw. Even though he hadn't found a ton of success outside of Alias, Vartan had established himself as a likable and charming actor. His films never found blockbuster success, but he did line up a decent run of indie films, shooting to build a stronger fan and critical base. The acclaimed creepy indie thriller 1 Hour Photo brought in $31 million at the American box office, while the crocodile-based thriller Rogue made just over $10,000 in a limited US release. Meanwhile, a few other shots at indie success never even made it to theaters. And while large paying audiences didn't enjoy much of Vartan's latter big screen output, movie reviewers were often similarly unimpressed.
Don't be smart with me, understood?
Lindy West of The Stranger called Jolene a mediocre movie, which matches its 48% positive rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Demoted was called tedious and unfunny by several critics. Many critics seemed to enjoy small-town crime, but still others said it was forgettable or lacked charm. Unable to carry a big-budget studio movie or get a small film noticed, Vartan may have run out of chances to prove his movie star mettle. In 2007, ABC added Big Shots to its fall lineup. The show has a cringeworthy description, which says, "The story of 4 friends at the top of their game, until the women in their lives enter the room." The show was impacted by the 2007-2008 Writers Guild of America strike, with production interrupted and a 13-episode order cut to just 11. That was unlucky enough for Vartan, but Big Shots didn't exactly score with viewers or critics either. It finished in 53rd place in the annual TV ratings, and amassed a woeful 6% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. In May 2008, ABC canceled Big Shots. Yet another setback for Vartan. After the disappointing receptions of his movies, both major and minor, and the quick cancellation of Big Shots, Michael Vartan moved to the then burgeoning world of basic cable dramatic television in 2009, serving as the second lead on the TNT medical series HawthoRNe. On this show, notable for its quirky title stylization that emphasized the RN to let viewers quickly know that this was a series about a nurse, Jada Pinkett Smith played Christina Hawthorne, head of the nursing staff at a Virginia hospital. Vartan portrayed Dr. Tom Wakefield, the chief of surgery, and Hawthorne's commitment-pushing boyfriend and later husband. Vartan was back at his go-to role of charming love interest that he had played so many times before. It didn't quite provide Vartan with the comeback he may have been after. Critics found Hawthorne to be thoroughly okay, responsible for giving the first season a middling 45% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. The first episode attracted nearly 4 million viewers, which was a lot for a cable drama at the time, but the numbers had dropped to just around 2.4 million by the show's 3rd season, which would also be its last. A Michael Vartan-led show called The Arrangement seemed like an ideal fit for the E! Network. The channel spends a lot of its broadcast day rerunning movies from the 90s and 2000s, when Vartan was the male Hollywood ideal, so it was just good synergy to cast the actor in a brand new, sexy, soapy drama series in 2017. Christine Evangelista played Megan Morrison, a young actor selected to sign a lucrative contract and serve as the public fiancé of Kyle West, a major movie star and the most famous adherent of a cult-like organization. Vartan portrayed Terrence Anderson, Kyle's producing partner, and also the head of the cult-like group. A provocative provocative and envelope-pushing series, the arrangement gave Vartan a chance to show audiences that he was more than just that guy from Alias or rom-coms past. Considering Vartan had made his name playing nice, charming guys, this was a chance for him to play against type as the creepy and intense Terrence. Audiences were into the arrangement, at least at first. It initially averaged 1.3 million viewers, which was a pretty solid number at the time, but by the end of season 2, ratings had dropped off a cliff, leading E to cancel the arrangement and put Vartan out of work once more. As of the 2020s, Michael Vartan doesn't appear in many movies or TV shows. But then that's nothing new. In a career that dates back to 1989, Vartan has just more than 40 acting credits to his name, a relatively brief resume for someone of his stature and age. And while he hasn't proven to be much of a viable box office draw or TV ratings lure, the problem with his lack of casting may be more fundamental. Casting agents wouldn't care to hire or advocate for an actor whom critics repeatedly call out for poor performances in high-profile films. Take Vartan's work in his biggest box office hit, The Thoroughly Drubbed Monster-in-Law. Critics repeatedly attacked the lack of chemistry between Vartan and Jennifer Lopez. And considering Lopez's stardom, most of the blame is not going to be put at her feet. Even at Vartan's best, he seems like he was never able to differentiate himself from other similar actors. Washington Post critic Amy Argetsinger even wrote a piece in 2005 attempting to differentiate Vartan from similar actors who often play rom-com boyfriends, like John Corbett and Dermot Mulroney, whom she dubbed the Guy. Attractive, likable actors are all over Hollywood, and they tend to bounce back a few pegs if they don't do something to differentiate themselves.
I'm gonna do all 3 walls.
Yeah, I think it's time to take a break.
Ready?
All of these points about the slow and quiet fading out of Michael Vartan's years as a leading man of the big and small screens may actually be entirely moot. He's acted in so few screen projects over the last 5 years that it would suggest the 50-something actor has walked away from show business. After releasing Small Town Crime in 2017 and the cancellation of The Arrangement in 2018 after 2 seasons, Vartan professionally acted just one more time. He guest starred on a first-season episode of the CBS spiritual drama God Friended Me. But after 2018, there's nothing on Vartan's IMDb resume, not even anything in production or awaiting release for the coming years. That said, there's also a chance he's just taking a break, to regroup and figure out what kind of movies and TV shows he really wants to make, or at least what comes next. Speaking with Entertainment Tonight in 2017, Vartan said, "For the first part of my career, I've really been an insecure actor. I've really struggled to find ways to be good. As I get older, it's not that I care less, but I really do. I care less about what people think about me. I care less about what I look like." He also told them he felt his best work was still to come. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Nicki Swift videos about your favorite stars are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.